Live. Welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest returning to the show, a good friend of mine, Irish NFT gal, all the way from Ireland. Irish, what is happening?
What's up? I hope everyone can hear me good. I got myself a new microphone because I was really annoyed at previous spaces and stuff that I've done. Actually,
Mhm.
the last one with yourself, and I was like, I need to up my game. So hopefully, it's a lot better this time.
Yeah, no, sounds a lot better. And look, I have a good mic, and there's been so many times when I've done Zoom calls or episodes, and I have the wrong mic like activated. So I'm like, does it sound good? And they're like, yeah, it sounds good. And I listen back, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't do anything right. But what time is it by you right now, Irish?
It's 11 p.m. Yeah. What about
Oh,
yourself?
awesome. Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock here. Appreciate you joining. Whenever we do these later shows, more people can join. And look, y'all, this is a live show. We're broadcasting on Rumble, on X, Twitter, and YouTube. But if you have any questions for me or Irish, let us know in the chat. We'll kind of answer live. Irish, I kind of got to start with this actually. Before I forget, check this out. I mean, perfect timing that you're coming on. So are you seeing the Bitcoin price right now?
I am, yeah, increasing a lot more than eat. Let me say.
Well, I think that we'll see this correlation, and I think that Ethereum is going to surprise a lot of people. When the bull run really gets started. But what do you think? Are you kind of surprised by this price action right now? Did you expect a pullback or?
Yeah, Bitcoin up, I think, was over 115% or up 120% in the past year.
Mhm.
Ethereum was like not even a quarter of that. I like do fully believe though ETH you're gonna see like the same rise, if not more, next year because I think a lot of people are like ETH has gone down so much now, and I'm completely. I know you're more the Bitcoin
Mhm.
maxi here, and I'm
Mhm.
definitely more the ETH maxi. So I'm hoping next year will be a better year for all of us that are, full time in the space and all the degens that are trading. I think next year is going to be such a good year.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, my audience, we talk about that a lot. It's the accumulation time now. When you say your ETH holdings, is most of that in NFTs, or do you have NFTs on a bunch of different chains?
So NFTs primarily on ETH, yeah, because I do believe in it that much for NFTs. I just think it works really well together. Now I do have Polygon. I'm a big Reddit fan. I'm a Reddit
Mm,
creator as well, so I do have a lot of Polygon. But I believe ETH will hold its value.
mhm,
And compared to other chains like Solana and Polygon, I believe for the long term, like we're gonna have ETH for the long haul.
mm.
Um, ETH for NFTs, absolutely, yeah. So I have that. But yeah, no, most of it, I still like. It's still like I would not trust to put 100% of it in NFTs either, So I still like to diversify. I think that's the best way to put, and invest your assets.
Yeah, when it comes to NFTs, it's kind of become like almost like a taboo subject to, certain people, which blows my mind because, if you're not really understanding, the technology that's behind these things, and people get caught up too much on this chain, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, all these chains, and people get caught up in all these scams and, pictures of monkeys, whatever you want to call it. But like, the underlying technology behind these assets is really, something I think that society's never seen before. It's really going to change the way we view the world and the way we interact with, everything in this world. But you're definitely, an early adopter. And you pretty much make a career now in NFTs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, the last time we spoke on your YouTube, we completely just spoke about that, like what you
Mhm.
can do with blockchain technology, and we definitely went way outside the scope of like even what both of our expertise is. But that's what I love about it. You come together with like new ideas and actually see those manifested and it's like people hear you speaking about it and then want to actually build it. That's what I love. I love working a lot with developers. So yeah, at the moment I do a lot of Web3 branding and marketing.
Mhm.
And there's so many, yeah, I work with a lot of different clients, but I'm really focused on the educational side of things. And I think that still hasn't changed since the last time we spoke as well. I don't think it will ever change. Yeah. It's just trying to make Web3 easier and more exciting for people.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of work to do because it feels like, we've gone backwards now. I did see, you were in Dubai. You were at the Bybit office. I didn't even realize, Bybit, so they're located in Dubai. I actually do use that exchange.
Do you?
Well,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's
oh
great
yeah,
to
and
hear.
one of the many I use. But what was that experience like?
Yeah, here it was my first time in Dubai, and I definitely had like bad judgment of the place. Like, if you've never been there, yeah, you're gonna listen to media because you don't know anything else. To
Mhm.
research, you get the bad headlines first. And the way I originally thought of Dubai is that like women are not treated equally, and all of that,
Mhm.
the typical things that you hear of. But when I went there, it's such like it like a beautiful combination of different cultures,
Mhm.
very much like Ireland here, but it's so far ahead in terms of Web3. I got invited to a Web3 event by ArtsDAO, and that was great. There was a couple of hundred people at it, and I was just so blown by the amount of different things to do.
Mhm.
And honestly, it's not expensive. A lot of people hear that it's the most expensive place in the world. Definitely Dublin, from what I can tell you, is more expensive than Dubai.
Really?
Um, yeah, from what I have got to do, like taxis were way cheaper. Just normal things that you would have to do on a day-to-day basis. Dublin is more expensive. So I was really surprised by that. I assumed it would be like only for rich people.
Mhm.
It's not like that. It's really amazing, and a lot of young people that are living there for the right reasons, because they get to live well, and they do get treated well. The Bybit team were great. So basically, I'd won a competition. I did some content creation for them, and I won. So they flew me out there, looked after me. I went to 5-star hotel, and it was just a great experience. So yeah, I'm still doing little bits and pieces for them, and got to meet Max Verstappen, Formula One, like the number one Formula One driver in the world. That was amazing. And got signed merch, signed t-shirts and everything. And yeah, it was a great experience, something that I'll never forget. And got to meet so many people within NFTs that I already know. I just messaged
Mhm.
them to meet up in advance, being like, should I move here? Like, is this somewhere that I should stay? Because everyone is highly involved in crypto there. I'd go up and order a drink at a bar in the hotel, and I'm always talking about NFTs to the person beside me because they just get it. That's not something you get anywhere else.
Yeah, it's crazy the doors that open, when you're in this industry because, the people that get it, they get it. And, Dubai, I didn't know that about the cost of living. I definitely would have thought, it would have been a very expensive trip to go there. But I guess maybe they're just trying to incentivize young professionals and entrepreneurs to go there, because it seems like they are, I don't know everything about Dubai economic policy, but it seems like they're doing something right. And for sure, they are kind of becoming the de facto crypto hub of the world. And as an American, it's very, very frustrating when you see, what our
Yeah,
administration's doing. And it's
yeah.
like, it doesn't matter what we do here. Dubai and, all these other nations are going to roll out the red carpet. It's going to get embraced and we're just going to be left behind. But, what's Ireland? What's kind of, their stance on crypto? Is it pretty open? Is it pretty,
They're kind of following other countries, and it's not the correct way to do it. They're kind of waiting to see what other countries do bad and what other countries do good in. And I suppose it's more like a safety thing. Yeah, that it's a good idea that way, but for people that are within crypto, it's an awful place to be in,
Mhm.
because you want to be, you're obviously going to compare yourself to these tax-free countries that you are not in, and you wonder why not.
Mhm.
But there's more and more countries that are actually becoming crypto tax free because they want tourism there. They want to boost their own economy, and it's such a wise decision. I think a lot of more government should be like facilitating that for it, because it's just going to get bigger and bigger, you know. Like I travel a lot, and one big thing that I noticed that Dubai did very well is they welcome you in the right way. When you go to the airport, they hand you a travel SIM card. I've never had that happen before, but that's such a lovely welcoming gift that you get for free. And straight away, then you know, you have no problems. You feel safe, you know, as soon as you get into the country. That's a big thing as a reason as to why people stay in a country, if they feel safe. You know, if you get mugged on the side of the road, you might never want to go back there, you know. So safety is a huge thing, especially for those in crypto. So Dubai is a hugely safe country. Yeah,
it's interesting, you know, and like maybe, you know, obviously I'm biased, but maybe people, you know, would think otherwise, that if you notice the countries that adopt crypto, say like El Salvador, they've had like no murders.
yeah.
Miami, very safe place. You know, now you're, you know, Dubai, you know, you went there as a young, attractive female. You went by yourself?
No, I brought my mom with me, but two women. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so you see what I'm saying, that like these places, and maybe there's no correlation, that are real crypto friendly, real crypto. It's like this type of person, that's open-minded kind of person, this freedom minded person. And that's really cool, you know, that y'all would be safe. And I hope this model is emulated. Now, what I think is happening is that it's not that, I'm not going to target specific countries. It's not that they don't see the value proposition or the good of crypto. They just don't want it for other reasons, you know, for control reasons, for a laundry list. Every country is going to be a little different. But I did notice, you know, something me and you were talking about, and this popped up, you know, because, you know, Elon Musk has been in the news with his recent takes on telling all his advertisers to go F off. And then he was, check out this, me and you were talking about this earlier. So the Irish government hates free speech. And then Elon Musk chimed in, suppression of the Irish people is the real crime. So,
You know, I was so shocked with that comment. Like, that is huge. Like, that's hugely offensive to the Irish government. But a lot of Irish people are backing up Elon Musk, obviously, because they love his platform and they love like the freedom of free speech, you know. And I was definitely like, I had to look more into that when I first seen it. Like it is all over the news. Like, I don't know, do you get like news about like all of this in your traditional like news in America, or is this something that you would only see like on Twitter?
no, definitely not on like traditional, like mainstream media. You know, our mainstream media, it's almost like unwatchable at this point. A lot of propaganda, a lot of it's just certain narratives they push, other stuff they stay away from. You know, I hate to say it, but like this idea of like, you know, an independent journalist, it just kind of feels like it's dead, unfortunately. But yeah, so no, I only saw this basically, you're right, on Twitter. And that's what's even more interesting. It's like, you know, without Twitter, like what would the world look like right now? You know, the amount of, you know, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fake news on Twitter as well. But, you know, stuff like this. And then you and I were talking about they're saying that Conor McGregor, I mean, and he's in trouble in Ireland as well. And now he's talking about maybe running for president or something. So yeah, this isn't stuff you're going to see on American news. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. And I feel like I actually feel sorry for you, Kev, living in the States as well, because I think a
Mhm.
lot like you yourself might think like it's just the States that is, you know, going down under, like it's like all the bad things are happening. But
Mhm.
like even right now, there was only a couple of days ago, there was riots in Dublin, and like it's not very common for Irish people to protest.
Mhm.
As in comparison to like France or something like this, you know.
Mhm.
We and if we do protest, it's very small numbers. It's not in its hundreds or thousands. So to hear something as big as a riot happening, where there was like looting involved and all of this, it's a
Mhm.
huge deal. It's literally never happened before in like my years. So Conor McGregor kind of took to Twitter recently, and obviously where there comes fame, comes a lot of judgment. And what I can kind of compare right now of his online criticism of the riots and everything is kind of like, I don't know if you heard about Web Summit recently with Paddy Cosgrave. He got a lot of he got a lot of judgment because he was talking a lot online, and like it's only because if a big account has something strong to say, then people take really bad judgment against it. And this is what Elon Musk is talking about. So Elon Musk is talking about basically the Irish Taoiseach, as we call it. A Taoiseach is someone that would basically tries to the higher up in the government and tries to represent your country. And our Taoiseach was talking about he was talking about what was it? It was riots. Or no, sorry, the Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar was talking about what did he say? Sorry, I'm just going to double check actually if you want to bring it up there.
Oh yeah,
he says,
you go.
The Irish government hate free speech was the actual tweet that was made. And what Varadkar is saying is that there needs to be more legislation and more laws put into place, as in like racial facial recognition, to get everyone, which is never going to happen, but to try and get everyone obviously behind bars, or trying to get everyone that is doing bad and trying to like stand up for themselves, or try to make a speech that they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And Elon Musk is going against it, saying like anyone should be able to stand up for themselves. I do agree with like Elon Musk, his take, but I think there is already like a lot of laws in place in Ireland. I think we are actually good in that way. Like I know recently there was cocoa law put into place, and it was actually a girl that I knew, and sadly like she had committed suicide because of some like online images of her being shared, and so a law was put into place straight after that had happened. Like they are actually quite quick, and I think I would like applaud us for doing that. Conor McGregor put online, obviously given out about the Irish government, which is very similar to what Paddy Cosgrave does on what he used to do on like a weekly basis. I used to follow him for that reason because I thought he was actually quite funny. But Conor McGregor said like what he's the king of basically is riling people on, making people mad, but he's not all talk. A lot of people assume Conor McGregor is all talk. He's definitely not all talk. He's actually created like houses in his local community in Drimnagh, Crumlin, and built houses because he knows that there's a massive housing crisis here in Dublin. But it's not just in Ireland, it's everywhere. It's just because of inflation, and obviously crime is on the rise because of that as well. And Conor McGregor is just kind of saying, putting fact to it, and people complain about it. The next day after the riots had happened, he kind of put like nearly an apology online, because obviously he had hurt a lot of people's feelings. So I think Conor McGregor can kind of get away with anything. He can get away with whatever he wants to say. And I definitely agree with Elon Musk that like, you know, you shouldn't get banned over something that you want to say. I think like to report people and get taken down, like yeah, you can report them, but they shouldn't have to be taken down just because a couple of people like are against that, you know. I think like the laws though that are in place right now are like there for a reason, you know, and I don't think there needs to be particularly any more. But yeah, the riots that happened in Dublin were a disgrace. Like here, we never hear of something like that happening. And it was just really sad. And I think like it just links into all of this happening because it just goes to show you how mad people are getting with the current like system of things, right? That the government can't do everything. It has to be coming from like us as people as well, to know what is the right thing to do. You know, you can't have government controlling us for the rest of our lives. It's just not going to like end well really for anyone.
It never has historically, and the last thing you want to live in a society where people are afraid to speak their mind. Now, what's interesting, that you're kind of going through, and Ireland's kind of going through very similar stuff as what we're going through in the States, and they like to use these terms like hate speech, misinformation, disinformation, and it's like, well, who gets to determine, who is the arbiter of what hate speech is? Meaning that if Irish posts something on Twitter and I don't like it, do I get to say it's hate speech? Well, the way it works now is, big tech working, collaborating is able to do that. And Elon has really, really, it seems to thrown a wrench into what they want to do to be able to, control certain narratives. And like you said, the government is always going to want more power. And there's always going to be pushback. It's kind of like in 300, the Spartans pushing the Romans, and they're pushing back, and they're pushing them off the cliff. But that's kind of where it feels where we're at, where the governments are just going to constantly infringe on our rights. And what's even crazier is, you live all the way in Ireland, and it's like you're seeing, your people, you're seeing the same inflation that we're seeing. And the inflation it's really caused by us. It's really caused by the United States. In everything, everybody hurts. When we hurt, all the other countries hurt. And that's why I think a lot of countries are like, you know what, we're just ditching the US dollar, which I'm not happy about that. I want the dollar to be the world reserve currency, but the way things are going, I can't blame countries, and it's not really fair, because the inflation, it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt the rich and the elite. I don't even want to call them the 1%, because it's a lot less than 1%. It hurts the people like me and you. It hurts the people watching this. And look, anybody just tuning in, man, if y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll answer live. But Irish, I want to go, since we're talking about Elon Musk, got another Elon Musk story, and I need your, this is one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about. So check this out. I don't know if you saw Elon Musk did an interview with Joe Rogan. And really out of nowhere, he just blasted NFTs. So it says here, the headline, Elon Musk blasts NFTs and Bitcoin fans love it. On a Joe Rogan's latest podcast, Elon Musk revived the common criticism of NFTs. So why are Bitcoiners thrilled about it? So yeah, Elon went off on NFTs. Did you catch that?
Yeah. It was a while ago, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't that long ago. This was posted November 1st. So yeah, about a month ago, maybe. It was toward the end of his last interview with Joe Rogan. He was basically just saying that, because a lot of the NFTs, while the data, I believe, is stored on chain, the actual images are hosted separately. And I guess that was his gripe. And the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin maxis, the ordinals people, those images are actually, I guess, inscribed on chain maybe. So it was just kind of weird. It was just kind of weird because in the same, literally, I think the same week, check this out. In the same week that happened, and, me and my audience, we could be wrong on this, but check this out. So in the same week that Elon said that, Andrew Tate literally made a standalone. Did you see that video where he is attacking NFTs, which I thought was interesting because he made an NFT. You know what I'm saying? Like saying NFTs are for dorks and you're a loser if you get NFTs. And it's like, dude, you made an NFT, and his NFT, he says, oh, well, I didn't sell the NFT. I gave it away if you bought like an overpriced t-shirt, like you bought like $100 t-shirt and you got the free NFT. So he's like, oh, well, I gave the NFT away for free. Not really, because there's a 10% royalty, meaning that if I got the NFT and I sell it, 10% goes to him. So Elon, Andrew Tate in the same week attacking NFTs. This maybe is a coincidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just, I think people, Andrew Tate, I think he deliberately does that so people like badmouth him as well. It gets people more famous, and we're seeing it all the time happening with like token drops and so on, and people just like lie just to get more engagement. And I think he's deliberately doing that so that people will hate him, because he probably gets a thrill off that. And I can see why, because if you're getting bigger and bigger, it makes sense for him. Obviously, he might be making more money than off it if he's going to drop another NFT then in a couple of days time, type of thing, and he gets more engagement again. Andrew Tate is definitely not one that I will like consistently like check out for, because I know it's just a lot of like lies. But yeah, I think Elon Musk, he does hate NFTs. He does,
Mhm.
because he this was not like the first time that I've seen him badmouth it. He actually,
Mhm.
I think the first thing I saw about him was that when Bored Ape Yacht Club was like at an all-time high, more than a year ago anyway, kind of less than 2 years ago, and he had changed his profile photo. Do you remember that? And
Mhm.
it just
Yep.
blew, and everyone instantly thought it was a good thing. Well, in a way it was, because it got more exposure to like NFTs and what does this actually mean, his new identity. But it was just like obviously a screenshot of someone
Mhm.
else's. He was doing it for the wrong reason, so it was actually
Mhm.
like an insult to the NFT community, but people from outside of it probably didn't see it that way. So it's the way that you weigh the way that you look at things, right? Like it's a good thing but also a really bad thing. And I think it's just because like Elon Musk right now is focused on transforming Twitter into like a transaction. Like he wants to turn it into a bank, and
Yep.
eventually that will be crypto, yes. But he's, I'm sure, focused on his own transactions and his own like tokens. He's probably not really wanting, because he'll make more money that way. So it's in his favor
Mhm.
to go against NFTs and probably go against crypto right now, while he's building out his new like online bank. Like so, I'm sure it'll take some time though.
It's still, because even, if you listen to his whole thing that he said, it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because there's no way he can't see the value proposition of the technology.
Mm.
And, you mentioned the Reddit avatars and, how well that has done on Reddit. And, I remember when that came out, there was a bunch of, I don't know why, there's like this whole class of people that just like are haters and they hate NFTs and they just go out of their way to troll anything NFT related. So the fact that, that business model works so well on Reddit, I would imagine something similar on X would do phenomenal numbers. And, looking at what's going on with Elon with this advertisers thing, I'm sure he could use, another revenue stream, right?
Yeah, Walmart, I think we're like the latest one to go completely stop. That's actually a huge deal. Like
Mhm.
Disney is one thing, but Walmart, I would actually be more annoyed over Walmart than Disney to stop advertising. I think would be one of the biggest. Like I used to work in an in-house design agency here in Dublin, and the like supermarkets are the number one in terms of advertising. They have the most amount of money to pump into
Mhm.
advertisement. I would say Walmart were more a shock to him than Disney, because Disney don't really need the advertisement. They don't really need to be putting out lots of sponsored ads as such as Walmart would be,
Mhm.
because Walmart would have lots of new products, lots of new like partnerships with really big like celebrities and stuff like this, whereas Disney don't need to do it, I think, as much. So yeah, he definitely is one to monetize off of creators. I had the Twitter Blue, I got rid of it. I probably get it back again, yeah, because it does help you when you're working full time, like social media and marketing and so on. But I was waiting until a lot of their features were updated. A lot of things still aren't like perfect, but I don't think he's a perfect man when it comes to social media. I think like he just wants to change it up as quickly as possible, fail fast and move on. And that's the type of man I think he is. He's way too many businesses as well to kind of fully focus on one. So I kind of like that. I kind of think that's like wise as well, though, because life is too short. You're never going to be perfect. You'd be
Mhm.
waiting your whole life then for that, and then you won't launch anything, or you
Mhm.
won't make any changes. So he's definitely a wise man.
Yeah, so Crypto Dream said, wasn't it Elon that made it possible to put NFTs as profile pics? So yeah, so you could put your NFT. Now, was this under Elon's tenure? I think it was, where, what I guess the bigger picture of that would be crypto is that, think of like the way a blue check works on Twitter or Instagram, the fact that you could validate yourself through, an NFT. So if it's an NFT, say like a crypto punk or a Bored Ape Yacht Club, and that NFT can actually kind of gain notoriety. It can be like, so that specific image can only be, and that's all, that's actually what Tate was making fun of. Oh, I'm gonna go verify it on a blockchain, and it's like, yeah, that's a really, really good way to validate people, going to events, to be able to, scan, check it on the blockchain. All right, this person is who they say they are. So, yeah, Crypto Dream. With Walmart, that's interesting. What Irish said too is that what is the bigger brand at this part? Is Disney a more recognizable brand than Walmart? But yeah, I think Irish is right that Disney would be the bigger brand, and that Walmart would actually need to constantly be advertising, which they advertise on Facebook and Instagram, and you see all the crazy pedo stories coming out with those platforms, but that's okay. That's okay. But Elon Musk tweeted a meme, and we got to pull all advertising. It really doesn't make any sense.
No, like the verification, that question that we got in is really good actually. But in Ireland we never got the feature available. So I never actually got to like test it out. I know on Instagram they pulled the trigger and they didn't want to use it anymore. Because it just wasn't working for them. And a lot of people were shocked why Instagram and NFTs didn't work, but probably just because way too many bots and like way too many negativity on it in comparison to Twitter. Twitter is actually like a lovely place, like in Web3. It's so friendly. And I think for those that aren't in Web3, they don't see Twitter as a friendly platform. It could be the worst platform if you don't have the right connections to begin with. So it's hard to start off. But that's a good point, because yes, I believe it was like around quickly after when he had started, so maybe it was already in the pipeline. We probably won't know that. I'd say it was already in the pipeline, because he does harass a lot of crypto native people, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now that you say that, when you talk about like Twitter, there's these things called, I'm sure all about them, engagement hacks. And, obviously, you take a subject, a touchy subject, and make a Andrew Tate a definitive opinion one way or the other, and definitely a super good engagement hack. So maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Maybe Tate comes out and says he bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club at the bottom, and he, manipulated the market, because I guess essentially it's not illegal. It's not illegal for them to do something like that. But either way, I think that the Tate NFT little video he made is going to age poorly. I think Elon Musk's take on NFTs is going to age very poorly. And if you think about it, for most of these people, just like crypto, just like, most people, most influential people, most, people in finance, people in, influencers have had terrible, terrible takes on crypto and NFTs, and they're just going to age poorly. But hey, nobody's right about everything. But Irish, I think we're going to be right.
Even I will always go back to the first time that we chatted, Kev, because I think that the first like YouTube conversation that we had, thank God it was recorded, because I think we will continuously go back to that, because you always go back to banking, you always go back to traditional financial markets right now and how messed up it is. So I don't think we can do too much worse in crypto. I think like you can only do better really in comparison. So I think I think people are just going to get more and more like confident with putting their money in crypto. I think it will become like eventually people will take that step. I know a lot of banks are going into crypto, but they're already taking way too much time that people will forget about them and just say no to it. Like I know I was recently using like Binance card, and that's actually gone now. It was closed down. And I was very disappointed. When you actually get used to something, you have a crypto card, or you have something like a new technology in your hand, it works for you, and then it gets taken down. And that was definitely like government taking action in there, that with everything that was going on with the founder, and he's gone now. I'd say that was in the pipeline for a long time. And I don't think I will be able to get like a new card off them again and so on. So it's already like we are already still like it's hard to obviously avoid getting controlled again by all of these new platforms. I think a lot of people are trying to avoid like even working with like the states in that way, because straight away like regulatory action gets put in straight away. But like it happens everywhere. Like it is a good thing obviously to have security and have people like manually check in processes and making sure that they're not like money laundering or anything like that. It's really important, but it's going to happen anyway. And I think people don't realize that happens anyway in traditional banks. People that can even work for banks are doing it and putting it under, it's always going to happen. So I don't know why a lot of people presume crypto was only used for wrong reasons. And I really hate that journalists always put it out that way. And I think we can learn a lot from journalists as well, that they're very one-sided. And that's a good thing. It's good to have your say that way. But I think yeah, we need to be more, I suppose, like less open-minded now when it comes to traditional, because we know it doesn't work. We know we've already accepted that fact, whereas most people, I think, in the world haven't, and that's the divide that's happening now.
Yeah, yeah, people are getting really, really angry, with the inflation, and a lot of people look at NFTs or crypto as their way out, their way of beating inflation, their way of creating generational wealth, their way of creating a community, whatever it is. It opens up so many opportunities. Now, what I think, what we're seeing is that those arguments, because we're dealing with, Elizabeth Warren here, that's presenting those same attacks against cryptos, for the money laundering or the terrorism, and it's like, okay, y'all. Do you think there was no money laundering before crypto? Do you think there was no terrorism before crypto? And do you think that if you could hypothetically ban all crypto and NFTs, that all of a sudden there'd be no money laundering or terrorism? So it's a real low IQ argument that they're using.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they're not wasting no time parroting it. And what I always like to do, me and my audience, we talk about this a lot, is sometimes you hear these politicians, or you hear, even some influencers, some financial people, and they say one thing, and then Irish, you just got to like, pull back the veil a little bit. And then you see, stuff like this, the BlackRock now, this just came out yesterday, actually. BlackRock modifies the proposed spot Bitcoin ETF to meet SEC requirements. So here we go. This right here, plus the Bitcoin halving, I think it's going to skyrocket the price of crypto. I think the bull run is going to be very similar to previous cycles. I'm not going to give any price predictions because I know I'll be wrong. Think about it. Nobody can really say where a top's going to be. You're going to be wrong. But what I think is going to happen is the crypto bull run is going to happen 2024, maybe early 2025. Then a lot of the money is going to flow into NFTs. And
it always does.
It always does.
It always does. Yeah. That's what we've noticed already, that it does, because people want to diversify their assets, and that's all it is, just diversifying it into different areas. Now, when you buy NFTs, it is that one step harder to actually profit, because you think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to sell it, that I have ETH, but will you actually exchange that to fiat? Probably not, because you're so excited that you've made a lot of money out of NFTs or whatever, that you might buy something else. And that's the way that it works. And a lot of artists turn into collectors. A lot of content creators are monetizing so much that they become investors in other people's artwork. And that's what I love about Web3, that it is like a full flow, and the money is going like all around. It's not just one person that make, like, even like people, if you say like he was the biggest, and he wasn't, but just because everybody knows him, it's a good example. Like, he was still buying artworks off other people, and still like he created a gallery. He did a lot for like CryptoPunks community, and anyone could join. He would have pumped a lot of money into Web3 events and so on. So it's not like people are leaving. and just taking the money with them. Most people will buy other people's artwork and so on. So NFTs is going to be, I think, huge next year. I think the last time we spoke, I think we both were saying like minimum 2 years until like the next bull run. I think it will be a lot sooner than we think, but it's just hard to know when.
I hope you're right. And the famous last words is always in investing is this time's going to be different, because I don't think it is. And Irish, you're more plugged into the NFT world than I am. But let me ask you this: how many artists, how many traditional artists have you met that have made, let's not say millions, but have now made a living because of NFTs, because of this technology? Meaning that they were an artist, a traditional artist, that maybe, had to work a full-time job, but now because of NFTs, they now have escaped the matrix, escaped the rat race, escaped the 9 to 5 because of this technology. Not because, so they didn't become a better artist. They didn't become, Pablo
No,
Picasso, but
they're
the
the exact same.
technology.
Yeah.
And you see the stories where it's, some little artist and they have a little project, and somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk stumbles across the story, or somebody, like you said, an investor that made a bunch of money on NFTs. And what do? They become a collector. So they don't just get rich in NFTs and run. No, they actually fall in love with the space. So are you seeing a lot of that? Like, like artists that are becoming self-made, or at least, self-sufficient because of NFTs. Are you seeing a lot of that?
Yeah, I have like over 2,000 students like globally.
Mhm.
And I believe like I've onboarded a lot of people into the space, and I've actually like asked them themselves like, Are you full time now, or are you comfortable full time?" Because obviously in the the bear market, then a lot of people might regret, being full time, and it's because it's scary. But like self-employment is scary, and it's in a way no different, and a lot of people think it's like 10 times more scary. It's not, because there's so many opportunities in the space, and there always is. This year was definitely hard for everyone, no matter if you're in web3 or not. So this year, I think if you can like still hold on to whatever skills that you have, whatever clients that you have, whatever, and that that makes you tick in the morning, that you can still continue on like for future years. I believe like a lot of like Irish people that I onboarded did leave their job, and they want to stay in web3 because they see the amount of opportunity. And I
Mhm.
always say opportunity because like every day you see open calls for galleries. They could be on a billboard in New York, or like just things that wouldn't necessarily happen without NFTs. Like I've got to like fly to places that I would never have seen before because of where crypto has taken me and so on. So it's a completely different world. I think everyone should like dive into it because it's so exciting that there's so many like celebrities that you can talk to on a day-to-day basis, and it's so easy to find new people because it's so small, it's so niche. So I think like why wouldn't you want to be in this area?
It's funny that another one of the knocks, because it's like when you're in it long enough, you kind of hear them all. They compare it to Pokemon cards, and that was funny maybe for a little while. Then you see all these people making millions with Pokemon card investing businesses, and you realize that, listen, just because you think something's worthless, there's somebody that has placed a value on that asset. And with this technology, you just the ecosystem is created where Irish can make an NFT, a painting, and maybe I don't find it valuable, but maybe somebody watching this is like, I want to buy that. Maybe somebody, or even this ability to join communities, because that's what it seems like a lot of and that's the big disconnect, I think, for most people, even people in crypto. They like crypto and into crypto, but they don't understand the value proposition of NFTs. Like, dude, I don't want a picture of a frog. I don't want a picture of a monkey. I don't want a pixelated image. But they're not realizing that is your entry. That is your membership card. That is your way of joining this community. And I've been the benefit of the communities I'm in, with meeting people in Miami, going to VIP parties, And obviously, this has brought you all over the world. I mean, Irish, what did you do before this? What was your life before this? Who was Irish NFT gal before this?
Yeah, oh, I was in a lot of different colleges, may I say. I was in and out of a lot of colleges. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So computer science, dropped out of that, did creative digital media, absolutely loved that. Then did it again in another college to see if it was a little bit different, did that. And then I did UX design. So I did a lot of website development front end by myself. I went out and set up my own little agency. I was working for Facebook and I was working for Microsoft at one stage as well, within their marketing and social media team. So I was always visually, I'm a visual learner anyway, so that's probably why I love social media. When most posts are images or videos, and straight away I get it then. And I think that Web3, obviously NFTs, it kind of suits me in that way as well. As you can see, like I still do like a lot of paintings and so on, and I still love like art and digital art within the Web3 space. I think a lot of people assume NFTs are only for artists, and I do talk a lot about artists, but it's definitely not. Like yourself, like you got into the NFT space because of like communities, and I think that is why people should join, is because of like the in real life aspect of it that you get, like the different people that you get to meet in person, like is like just different opportunities really for everyone.
Yeah, and I obviously, I came into it with a strictly a financial, I seen a way to monetize, and then I start learning more about it. You start joining the communities, you start seeing the value proposition play out. Then it gets to really, where I really look at my portfolio. And look, we're not going to really get into talking about specific projects because I don't know. It's just people just get, these NFTs are so speculative, y'all. I know beating a dead horse. You really got to do your own research. You really got to figure this out on your own, because if you don't, then you're probably going to lose money, because this is a very speculative asset. And what we're dealing with right now, not just in the country, in the world, this inflation, kind of the last thing people want to, talk about or invest in would be NFTs. And in some way, rightfully so. But what I would probably tell people to do is start at least learning about it, because it's free to learn. And Irish, how many times do you see a free NFT giveaway for, somebody to complete some type of task to join a community, and that free NFT end up being valued at a lot of money? I mean, you see a lot of projects like that, right?
Yeah. I've done like a ton of giveaways. Even I remember one was valued at Jesus, probably the most that I've seen was one valued at like $250,000.
Wow.
Another one probably 100,000 like dollars, and then another one like 50,000, 60,000, 80,000. A lot that were like nearly 100,000. A lot. And like, why wouldn't you try and enter when you know that they are legit? They want to just get like extra people within their community as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it happens every day. It really does.
Yeah, I think what a CryptoPunks, did they give them away for free at first? Because you were a part of that community, right?
Yeah, well, I even did one recently with the Lost Wallet. They were giving away, John Carp was giving away his CryptoPunk, and people couldn't believe, like, why would you give away such a valuable asset? I was actually in the running to do it, and I got in like there was a game, you had to play a game, and it was so fun to be a part of. And I think I definitely got in the top 10. I think I was like 7 or 8, and I was devastated that I didn't win. But I still got some NFTs, but not that one. And it was like metaverse quests, and I love that with NFTs, how you can like get a part of a community by playing games. Like Web3 games is totally different. Yeah, the one that I did was V1 Punks, CryptoPunks V1, and we gave away one, and it was valued at about $60,000. Yeah, and the person that won as well was like, what? Like, really? What? Like me? They
Yeah,
couldn't
like
believe it.
And I've seen that in so many communities. The NFT communities would do giveaways like that, and everybody that wins, they're like, dude, I never win anything. You know what I'm saying? And so Lewis has a question. Honest review, is Proper 12 any good? That's Conors Whiskey. Is that what that is?
You know what? I've never tried it because all of the pubs in Ireland, they won't accept it. I hope this isn't the friend of Conor McGregor asking, because obviously I'm going to slag him and say don't buy it. I believe the American market is his only market. I could be wrong, but I believe like his biggest market is USA. I used to actually work for the pub that he owns now, the Black Forge Inn, and obviously they sell it.
Have you ever met him before?
Yeah. Before he was
why you didn't tell us that?
before when he was bald.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He used, because it was his local pub. So his mom and dad always drink there, and I think his sisters and stuff. Yeah.
Does he still live? He still lives in Dublin, or?
He was actually in Dubai the same time as me. He was in the same he was actually in the same bar as me at one stage, and I didn't chat to him. I should have. But no, he doesn't live there full time anymore. But he is always in Dublin. Yeah.
Crypto Dream just said, if you love or care about an NFT, price is nearly irrelevant. That is true. I agree with that. But to make money, I don't know what will survive, especially after. Oh, there's Tom. I love Tom. He's getting sued by the SEC, because I know he came out with an NFT and I think it did pretty well.
If you love or care about an NFT, price is nearly irrelevant. But to make money, I don't know what will survive. Yeah, and that is the tricky question. But this is why I love historical NFTs, because definitely they are the ones that will probably be the most valuable when museums want to know in years to come. And there is already NFTs in many museums, like globally, especially in France. French people have definitely grasped the technology of NFTs. They are way ahead. Like we think maybe like China, Japan. No, France are so far ahead. I've been to so many NFT events in there, and they blow my mind every time. They love historical NFTs. Most of their museums are like heavily involved, and they've created NFT galleries as well over there. So that would probably be like definitely what's the oldest of something that you like is what I would probably first look at.
Yeah, I mean, anything that, is deemed a collector's item, yeah, the oldest is always gonna, because that can never be replaced. Now, I'll say this: if I was sitting down, say somebody had, and I know this is a made up scenario, but if somebody sat me down and say, "Look, man, I got $50,000 and I have to put it in NFTs, what should we do?" And I'll be like, "Well, anything Yuga Labs," and then I would probably a good portion of that money. Crypto gaming NFTs, because the phenomenon that is skins, and we see kids spending insane amounts of their parents' money on Fortnite skins, Counter-Strike skins, and it's like this ability for an independent person to make skins for their favorite video game, and you could give them away and just have a royalty attached to it, say 10% on a resale, and you actually make money. Another way to monetize, because that's kind of the big thing coming up, is crypto gaming, this play to earn, where these games are going to be paying people, and that's going to be huge. Skins are huge, so it's almost like the perfect storm's kind of brewing. But I'm with you there. The historical NFTs, and I've done some videos on them, but again, do your own research on this stuff. Super speculative, crazy time. You might be better off. You might be better off right now buying Polygon Matic itself, buying Ethereum. That may provide you a shorter term, better return than an NFT that could very well go to zero. So you better like that artwork.
Yeah, one thing that I'm looking at now that I love to research, because I'm finding it pops up everywhere. Manifestation is a wonderful thing when you look at something that you really love and you see it everywhere. But one thing I'm looking at is AI assets created for games. So let's say you have a brilliant idea of creating a game. And you don't want to hire like the top end, designers and developers in the world, because obviously it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Why not use the help of AI or previously made, background drops or previously made, like even what you were saying, like skins or like characters, and try and reuse them and maybe change them around to suit your needs. That's becoming really useful now for a lot. Like AI is going to be used for everything. Like we're going to not even realize that we're watching like films and it's entirely made by AI. We won't know the difference. And I've already like tested this myself, and you can't tell the difference. We won't know what's real and what's not pretty soon. So why not try and look into those companies that are investing a ton of money in AI for gaming? I think it's something that we probably don't even really think about. Like if you're playing a game, you wouldn't think about it, like how this was created. But I find it really fascinating and something that I would look into a lot more, because metaverses is something. I think the first kind of real NFT that I bought was like a metaverse from it was on Cyber, and it was called the Temple, as like one of their oldest. And it was just because I was like one of their early followers, and I was like, what is this? And I was just really curious, and ended up winning a competition and got one of their oldest ones. So metaverses as well is something I think that we should consider as well in terms of like historical NFTs. I think that that's really interesting to know who was the first that did it well.
Yeah, and I think, what people might have a hard time understanding the game theory that's behind NFTs and NFT investing, meaning that a project can pump for the simple fact people are pumping it. And if you're in the know, you can, essentially day trade those assets. And, these marketplaces are kind of set up to do that. And so, it's almost like a lot of these prices, yes, they're very manipulated. Yes, yes, they will dump on you. Yes, these floor prices will drop. But, I think that, if you're playing the game, and, I know there's people, they watch some of these big NFT traders, and they mimic their trades, meaning that they jump in whatever projects they're into. Be careful doing that. Again, I would always, want y'all to follow somebody like Irish. She's posting a lot of free NFT educational content, because the more you can know now, if we do go into this bull run and it does happen the way Irish and I think it's going to happen, NFTs 100% could be your best investment, could be your best ROI than any crypto. Do you think so, Irish?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've never seen money that has been made so fast in my life, and I know it would never happen if I didn't know about Web3. If I didn't know about it, then there would be no way to make like an insane amount of money, or even have the possibility to like be able to reinvest. If you make like $100 after researching something for a month, it's still profit, and that $100 could make $1,000 and so on. So it just like you learn from like fails, and I think that that's what a lot of people, they don't mind as long as you're like, you eventually get one win. You're only looking really for that one win, and that one win could be everything, could be the reason why you leave your job, could be the reason why you change career. So I always say that like one new connection can change your life, or because that one new connection could tell you about this one new project. And like I think it's wise to not like talk about like projects in particular as well, because ones that you really are attached to are ones that will probably no longer make new people or new community members money, but it's still like you remember the memories. It's like we're already like old folks in this town.
Oh yeah, and I've jumped in projects and I've done videos on projects, and I've always made it clear that, one, nobody's paying me to do this. Two, this is really, for me, as risky as I can get as far as investing goes. But you got to risk it to get the biscuit. So we've seen how these millionaires made overnight in NFTs, and there's a little, it's not all luck. There's a little bit of science behind it, and there's a little bit of what Yuga Labs, what is their valuation as a company, like a multi-billion-dollar valuation as a company. And these guys are the innovators, and what their metaverse and what they're doing. And guys, I'm not just trying to shill Yuga Labs, like do your own research into them, but like
You
what
have an
they are doing.
obsession, Kev.
Yeah, right. What they are
I
doing,
love it.
it's just head turning. It's head turning, and it's like, you know, when me and you connect again for another video, I got a feeling we're gonna have a lot of big news in NFT space, because I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't think that Elon Musk and Andrew Tate in the same week,
Yeah.
attacking NFTs. I just don't think it's a coincidence. I don't know what the reason is behind it, but I think we're gonna find out real soon.
No, absolutely. And like when you mention Yuga Labs, I'd say they don't even know their own valuation, because I seen CryptoPunks, their recent sales and like total sales is even very difficult thing to add up, because if you go to Etherscan, you still have to go to each different marketplace and try and add up. CryptoPunks have like their own marketplace, so it's probably a little bit easier. But it said 2.67 billion just with CryptoPunks, so that's just that one project that Yuga Labs own.
Wow.
So if that's nearly 3 billion for one project, and they have 10 projects, they probably have more because they're in ordinals now as well. God knows how much extra that 3 billion has turned into, could be, I have no idea, but like 10 billion, I don't know, could be more.
Well, y'all, we are running out of time. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Irish, where can they find you at?
Yeah, definitely Twitter, IrishNFTgal.
Yeah, so y'all hit her up on Twitter. Y'all make sure to give Irish a follow. And Irish, we will definitely reconnect. Maybe next time there's some big NFT news, I will love to have you back on. And anything else? Right. Anything else you want to leave my audience with?
No, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Twitter is definitely the best place to have me, but I am everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it. Irish and I, we are out. It's like almost midnight probably by her right now, so she's got to get to sleep. But anyway, y'all have a great night. We are out. Peace.
Cheers.